Yep. So I guess I kickstart because we actually got some online audience with weddings as well. So thanks everyone for coming in. My name is Harry. For those who don't know who I am, I started this business about 10 years ago. We're an accounting firms. Been working along the startup sort of business for quite a while. Myself, I also invested in startup business through a couple of programs here in Canberra. Griffin Accelerate, I'm one of the mentor investors for about 5 years. So far, myself, I invested in about 25 startups. But our business is more about, the accountancy business. We know startup. We deal a lot with startups. I spoke with Cindy a couple of months ago, and she wanted me to do sections like this for the social enterprise group. Last year, I did one event. Cindy, last year, isn't it? Webinar as well. And the topics, I think, was around cloud accounting software. Got a bit of objection as well, a lot of questions. People asking whether they're too small for something like Xero's or whatever software, or some of them are using Xero already. Just want to ask questions around, how to optimize the system. So 1 hour last year wasn't enough. So I guess the topic this year is about cash flow, pricing models, really practical for startup business. Many startups came to us and say, really, Harry, are we too small to start something like a budget or cash flow? And my answer to them is really, I try to explain to them what is a budget, what is a cash flow to start with. It's not our national budget, by all means. It's much simpler than that. So in our language, any business, you got your own plan. You got things that you want to do, and we call business plan. And I'm sure that many of you would have written a business plan in some sort of format. So a budget, a financial sort of recording systems, is basically a translation version of a business plan. In other words, you are the CEO, you are the owner of the business, you create a business plan, you tell your staff, you tell the community, you tell everyone this is where you want to take your business to, from here to there. For accountant like us to understand all these things, you got to translate that into financial language, in which numbers, dollars, tax, things like that. So we can understand, and also would help you to monitor your business plan, the success of the business plan. All right. So today I want to recreating one of the sections that we would do with many of our startups. When they first came to our business, we would normally spend about an hour with them, try to build the first budget and the first very simple version, cash flow and pricing models. So at least we can understand their business. Like I said, we aren't savvy business people at all. If you give us a business plan and expecting we understand everything you want to do, it's not that easy for us. It's just like when I speak Vietnamese to you, right? So this first 1 hour, I want to get a volunteer business. One of you, don't be shy. Before the event, I actually put up a survey and asking questions around what sort of topic is relevant to this group, so we can actually tailor our systems to accommodate that need. And I got about 10 questions. And the question is all around sort of budget, cash flow, simple. So none of us want anything too complicated. Pricing models. So I guess within that context, and we've got some people in the background as well on the online, best would be a startup that selling products. Just so that
toilet.
Yep. Any volunteer? Yep. Yep. You want to have a quick sort of intro about yourself? Just pretend you come to our office in this 1 hour. We spend with you trying to understand your business.
What?
Just translate whatever you're trying to do in your financial term. Right. So a quick intro about yourself, what you want to do, business, and then, like I said, I would help you to build a real budget here live or start.
I didn't. Just put it in the sink so there's no way of it.
I think we can.
Hi. So the main focus
Yep. Okay.
Not yet. Oh, you're sick, remember?
selling very small amounts.
Okay.
So, but I'm looking to scale that.
Okay. I think Cindy questioned whether the group can hear or not. We can get another microphone.
Whoever's looking at this, what are they saying?
Yeah. Okay. So we want to hear the story. Yep. Yeah. I can wait. Yep. 1 second.
I'm just if I can.
Yep. It's good now. Just you need to use a microphone. All right. So back again.
Hi.
Yep.
Again.
Yep.
So the main focus of my business at the moment is selling skincare.
Mm.
So that's the product that I sell. I sell both direct to the public as well as wholesale.
Okay.
At the moment, that's very small, but I'm looking to scale that up bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit more about the story. Where did you start the business?
Oh.
Why did you do these things?
Oh, you want
Where do you
my
see the
story?
potential? Why not?
You just
Yeah,
wanted
I try to understand your business. No,
Actually,
not yet.
Actually,
Number is my bit.
well, I actually work in budgets. So that's
Okay.
my real job.
Okay, really?
Funnily
Yep.
enough. But I'm having difficulty costing my products, so there you go.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Good.
Oh well, I just have a huge passion about the environment, and you know, current predictions suggest that the year 2050 is going to be when the Earth says can't live anymore.
Yep.
So we have to significantly change how we're living, particularly in terms of how we consume things. So my skincare products are about trying to consume less packaging and using natural products. Why do I want to be a social enterprise? Well, because of the facts as well, but then I also have passion to try and help people who may not have the same access to mainstream employment, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
the really short version.
Okay. And when did you start the business? And have you started selling the product yet? Have you? How many products did you have?
And I thought it was 2 years, and then somebody wrote me a review of a product yesterday and said they've been using it for 4 years. So that was interesting.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm not sure if she's confused or I'm confused. I think it's probably me. Well, I started again, but it all started because I wanted to change products.
Okay.
So I started making all of them for me. And then after making lots of really terrible products, I found some really good ones, and then I started giving those to people as gifts for birthdays, Christmas, that type of thing.
Mm.
And then I started running some workshops, and I started a blog actually, just putting the recipes and things that I found up so people didn't have to go through what I went through. And that was like 2 years of trawling through stuff. But then people would say to me, no, just make it for me. I'm never going to make this myself, so I'll pay you to make it for me.
Okay.
And then somebody talked to me about the tax benefits that I could receive.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, I thought that was beneficial too. No,
Yeah, like buying a car that gets straight deduction.
I bought a $1 million property. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, is that enough?
Okay. Yeah, very inspiring story, right? So where do you want to take the business, say, in 12 months?
12
And
months.
this budget is really designed for 12 months only.
Yeah.
You can have a big dream for 3, 5, 10 years,
Yeah.
but really for the next 12 months, where do you see this business to come?
Well, I think I'm limited by my self-belief when I answer this question.
Yep.
But I would like it to become my main gig. So I would like it to be profitable enough so that I could stop doing my mainstream job
Okay.
and focus full time, and then expand into other areas that I have.
Okay. So before going too much into detail, because I'm going to go into numbers and things, and financial is really confidential. So we don't want you to tell us any sort of true number. For the purpose of learnings, please make up all the numbers, right? Including salaries that I'm going through, all the cost structures. Um, um, we can have real product names, but maybe different pricing models, maybe another number 0 in the end. Just so that it's because it's public, right? We don't want any confidentials here. So Eva is my assistant there. She's really fast on the keyboard. And our challenge is within the next sort of 30, 40 minutes, we have to complete this exercise, right? So I have a rough understanding of your business. And now we'll show you our little app that we built using a Excel's online version Google. So can you go into the report, please? Okay, so all right. So originally we designed this as a budget cash flow, and you're probably familiar with budget and cash flow. And then as we're dealing with more startup business, and there's a lot of sort of requests around modelings, and Harry, we want to see the future, we want to predict what our cash flow looks like. We turn this into the next level of cash flow and a budget. We call BIS, Business Intelligence Systems, because this system can tell a lot about business. Why we call intelligent? Because all that information you're given to me and more information that I'm going to ask, they are going to be translated into here, right? So quick introduction about how it looks, how it's all connected. Don't worry too much about formulas because it's not your job to work in the numbers. It's our job, right? So cash flow to start with, Eva. So again, there's a lot of numbers in here, but as a CFO, our role is really to explain to you in a plain language so you can understand your cash situation. In other words, where's my cash in my bank today? What it looks like in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months within my business plan.
There's a lot more red in my cash flow.
I know, and this will be familiar with many startups. Well, Eva Drill, going down a little bit, I want to show people the nice pictures of a startup, typical startup business. You know what this is called?
Value of debt.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, only startup know this stuff, right? Value of debt. But hey, we got out of it, right? So this is to start. But again, and it's basically, as a business owner, this is where you focus on. You just need to see what your cash behavior is. Don't worry about all the numbers. The accountant will do it for you. All right, so next step is going into budget without GST, please. So within this section, I'm going to go through the planning for the next 12 months, and we're going through line by line items. Try to understand your business, like I said, in financial terms. How much you can spend for marketing, how much you spend for the office, who's going to hire, what sort of role they, how much we pay in salary, again, not real number. And then we're going through pricing models. So you said you got a range of products, I believe, 5, 10, more than that?
Yeah, about 5.
Okay, keep it simple, 5.
Yep.
We actually got 4 templates in there. So play with 4
yep.
And try to do different pricing models, having different modeling of growth, volume of sales, and take margins as well. Try to see how it's all linked like. The purpose is, say for example, if you come back and say, Harry, we're now working on a very lean margin because we want to go after market. We want to really go fast, and you're driving 100% growth every single month. So we keep our margin really, really tiny, like it's only 1%. What happens if in 3 months, once we get to the market and we've got a couple of big wholesalers there, we want to lift our margin to 2%. What will be the impact back on my bottom line of my business, my expectation for this financial year? What will be the impact into my cash flow? We can do it all in here within this sort of half an hour section. Right? The first thing I'll do, like I said, try to get more information about your business. So I'm going to start updating this spreadsheet, and trust me, it's only take about 15 minutes to do it all. All right? So let's start. I won't go into income as yet because we build it in the modeling sections. Yeah? Within your 5 products. So Eva, let's move on the expenditure side. So scrolling down. All right, so let's start updating all the numbers. Let's start with the accounting fee. I assume you would have some sort of accountant that let's assume that you would have probably someone looking after your company accountings, and what do you budget for for a year in terms of accounting fee? Give me a number. And this is per week. This is per week.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We'll just do it annual and they can divide it by.
Maybe 150.
Yeah.
150 a week, $600 a month. That's probably about it. So Eva, $150. Is that link? Okay. Yep. All right. No worries. So one by one. Next one, advertising. So what channel do you advertise for the products? Do you spend anything on TVs, radios, newspapers, exhibitions?
Do you want to know what I'm doing at the moment or what I think I need to be doing?
So what are you doing at the moment, and what do you think, ballpark, as a whole year for the next 12 months,
Yeah.
what are you willing to pay for advertising?
These things I genuinely have no idea about, which is why I was having so much trouble costing my products. Because
Maybe we can outsource this.
Yeah.
So like ask other maybe get
Yeah.
other
Of course.
bit of a hybrid.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, of course. So I guess in my experience,
Yeah.
selling product like that, you got a website, right?
Yeah.
So average you would pay about 150 minimum for AdWords and things like that, right? So $150 to start with. Anything else you think that with a product like that, what other channel do we spend?
We sell product on Amazon, and only been doing it about a year. It's just started to really climb. But we're spending about 20% of the cost of our product, the sale price of our product on advertising at the moment, because we've actually got quite a high margin, so that covers that, and it means that we're making lots of sales because we're paying for a lot of advertising.
So that's another way. That's another way that we can do. So all Eva can do is really build that 20% on the total sale, on the total revenue as marketing costs.
You know how I went down.
Eva, can we do that? And again, this is really simple stuff. We can drill into really more complex models. So we can say marketing activity based on sales, indirect marketing, which is more branding. That doesn't have anything to do with sales. So we can say 150 on AdWords, and maybe the branding's awareness on 104.7s, that sort of things, right? But for the purpose of this, I won't go into too much detail. Some of my clients might have 5 different channel marketings and all serve different purposes. The thing that we're talking about here is really direct marketing that drives sales. We can extend the cable. It's quite a long cable.
Just wondering, are we going to get a copy of this template, or is this template for you for your? So for example, we want to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy to give you a template. Yeah, we did give template for all attendees at our event. So yeah. Yeah. Question, Cindy?
About the advertising, it might just be useful to break that down into the different parts. So for my budget, for the Millhouse budget, I have that broken down into different types of advertising. So we do quite a bit of social media stuff. So I'd say, $300, $500 a month in as a basic, and then if I have events and things that are happening, then it spikes.
Yeah.
So so social media, and then if you're using other more traditional sources of media. Again, in these early days, I'm a big fan of granularity on budgets. So having as much that way.
Our name out, get our product seen, but we're still making money even at that. So, our aim is to get it down under 10%, but that's that kind of marketplace. Whereas we sell other products that we do most of the advertising on Instagram now. We used to do shows that cost us 15 grand a time.
Yep.
We now do Instagram, which costs us maybe $30 a week, and it's actually driving more sales than the big shows.
Yeah. So with our client who really had a complex marketing campaigns, what we actually built for them is a marketing modeling, a separate tabs here that really going into all the single modelings that they could have. And then from there we drew it back into our master 5 here. So we really can go complex, but for this exercise, stay simple for now. Right, move on. We only got 15 minutes Bank fee, I think it's reasonable. Right, won't change it. You got to pay some merchant fee and things like that. Computers, equipment. Yep. Maybe you pay some software subscription and that kind of thing. So about $100 a month. Right, moving down. Software subscriptions, $73 a week, so about $3,500 a year. Happy with that? All right, so keep moving down. You got an office, rent, exhibitions.
I just work from home.
Okay, you plan to have an office for the next 12 months?
No, I think I can still do it from home.
Okay, yep. Just assuming that you got a...
Okay, I want
No, I was just saying, get rid of rent.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so imagine you got $1 million house. So assuming that you got a mega house and assuming that you're renting. So we can actually claim some of the deduction into office rent, right? And maybe...
Are you telling me to buy $1 million house? Is that what I just read?
Why not? Why not? Maybe even in Sydney.
This one is-
Yeah.
But there are tax advantages of actually having your office.
You could sell
X square meters, whatever it is, you can deduct your
Yep, of course. If she's renting. If she own the house, then no.
Yeah, I rent and I do that.
Yep, why not? Yep. So, and maybe within that $400, $250 is a home office and about $150 provision for a city kind of virtual office.
Yeah.
Right? Because you might want to do a wholesale deal in there and you want to have a presence in Sydney.
And I do run some markets. Does that also come under there?
Yeah, we can put it in
Or
there.
is that advertising?
Yep.
That's probably more great, 'cause you're actually paying for space.
R&D, you do any sort of R&D, research developments, product testing, lab?
Yeah, I do, but I don't really, well, yeah, I suppose I do.
We need,
Cost per ID, your time or your
depending on the, I mean, in your case, it's all the IT, so it's your time, really. But it could be materials, could be outsourcing, so, you know, researcher to come in and help her with the product developments and things like that.
I have had quite a lot of that.
Okay. Yep. So, all right. So let's move on. Sales contractor, do you have any sort of outlets that you pay commissions and things like that? No, not yet. Moving down. Very simple startup, right? We need to go a bit more complicated.
Yeah, sorry.
So does that mean we're taking sales contractors out?
Yep. All right. Software, you mentioned you got a website and things like that. Yep. So software. $35 a week, $1,200, $1,500 a year.
Yeah, I don't spend
start off
any of that.
that would be get away over a year just for a basic website and some advertising. $350 just if you start off in the first couple of years.
Yeah, I think my website cost me $35.
Which is close to that anyway.
All right. Yep. Leave it like that because in 12 months
Everything that I've done
CPI.
has been the cheapest option to start with. You know.
Okay. Yep. Why not? All right. Keep going down. All the small one, I won't go into details. Telephone, I assume that is the average sort of market, including mobiles and the fixed line, the internet combining. Travel, you do a lot of traveling here?
Not a lot.
A
No.
lot. So can we bring it down to say $20 a week? $20 a week, Eva?
What's a strike fee?
It's just a merchant facility for people selling online. That's basically the commission that they take. Yeah. And this is a template. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So next item, I think Travel International kill it.
Yeah,
You don't- yeah.
Sadly. Not yet.
Not yet.
Superannuation money.
Not even with the international airport. All right. So next big items there I want to go into is salary. So this bit we need to play a bit. We don't want to have a startup that with no sort of salary. What?
About minimum wage.
Yep, that's fine. So go into the salary, Eva, please. Okay, salary. All right. Okay, so we've got some good salary in there. So let's assume that in the next 12 months we want to drive growth. Right? Let's assume that there's no point to do these things and really just working like a SME, right? We want drive growth, and our modeling is really gearing for that growth, all the options that you can see. So let's assume that in the next 12 months, you're going to hire some salespeople. You got to. You're not going to do it all yourself, right? Let's assume that we're going to provision for about 3 salesperson and 1 sort of support staff and yourself. So that means your team would then 5 people in this startup. And again, this is the practice for everyone. So we can play around with the numbers and see what happens if we change the numbers. And again, you're talking about costing. We want to see how the costing is relating back into the products, performance of the business, and also the cash flow of the business, right? So right now you can see there, there's an app in there that getting paid around about 38,000 a year. Yourself and 3 salespeople get the same salary, about 52,000. And we can play with the numbers again as we going through this exercise. But let's just keep it like that for now. And then again, if you want, say, to hire a salesperson and you want to see what the picture looks like, we can play with it. All right. So right now, if I go back to the budget without GST, Eva, just the budget, I want to see the total cost. So going down to the right, I want to see a total expenditure for this business for the whole financial year.
Great.
All right, $940,000.
That's my value of debt right there.
Well, then don't put that many salespeople on just
Millions of products you're going to be selling. So.
Right. So within this 940,000, we're planning to spend about 250 for salary, 23,000 for superannuation, 3,000 for phone and internet, $2,000 for all the other bit and piece software. So about 4,000 going up. Eva, $22,000 for rent, including your home office reimbursements, location in Sydney, exhibitions, rental, stores, things like that, going up. Okay, $7,000 for all the other bit and pieces, 3,800 for insurance, so worker comps, office insurance, business insurance, all type of things. 4,000 for software development, presuming that you got a website, going up. Yep, okay, 7,800 for accountings.
$80,000
Yeah. Eva, advertising is too much. We're not that generous. We're not that generous, Eva. Can you double check?
20%
No,
of sales. So.
Yeah, that's it on a
We'll fix it on the sales. So
Yeah.
It's 20%.
Okay. Yeah. Alrighty.
I'm suggesting that that be everybody's standard. I'm just saying that's what we're doing at the moment.
It's just
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. Now, so roughly about $1 million we're going to spend in 12 months. What did you expect? What will be the turnover expectation? If you're going to bring investors in and they're going to give you all that money, what do you think they would expect and you would expect in terms of turnover and the net bottom line of the business?
Like double that? I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
Should you be going by?
What did you expect?
I'm saying you're probably suggesting it's 5 times that the advertising is 20% of the total sales. So 5 times the 600,000, like
What's
3 million.
What's your cost of goods sold? Because we haven't calculated.
Yeah, that is when we're going back up again.
Yeah.
So this is where we would going in and try to modeling her pricing, the margins, the growth expectation, right? So let's move on to the next section, which is what we call expected sale. And this is where we're modeling her pricing structures, the margins and all that sort of things. So again, this all link up. Right now we built, scrolling down a bit, Eva, we built 4 product samples there, and assuming those are the product that you're selling. Product number 1, selling price about $10 per unit, margin is 10%. And again, that margin 10% could be high, could be low for different type of business. What did you think?
Well, I think if you were Coles, that would be, you know, you were thinking you're getting a good margin there. If you were me, you'd be horrified. You know, with our timber, we operate on about a 65% margin. With Amazon, about 100% on top, you know, after all our costs. So 50% of our sale price is the margin.
Okay.
So
yep. So again, it's different type of business, different modeling, right? But we play with it. We play with all the numbers and see what the picture looks like. All right. Growth rate, what it means. So quantity is 500. Our assumption is a week we're selling 500 units. All right. So you got a decent market there. Growth rate is about 3% per week. Really aggressive. So week on week, 3% growth. All right, for product number 1, and similar. Number 2, 12%, selling price $20, quantity 700 a week, and growth is about 4%. All right, so I only put 4 elements in there, but we can really drill into really more layers and try to modeling our sales modeling. All right, but for this exercise, I keep it simple because those are the elements that we're going to play. And try to.
Growth rates come from here. Are they some sort of standard retail? Like, it sounds like wishful thinking. I'm just wondering where do they come from?
That's what these 4 salespeople do.
Right.
Yeah. When you see the sales team pipeline, that's how they work with. Is really setting out really aggressive targets, and then we monitor it from there.
What does 3% translate to as an annual? Because I'm thinking it's compounded, so I can't work it out.
A lot.
Yes, I can see that. I mean, I'm thinking 30% growth rate.
Yeah.
And we can adjust. So for this,
If you want to have 30% in a year, then how do you have?
I'm glad you liked it. I was pretty uneasy with it when I saw it.
So
Very much.
we got a few options there. One is really weekly. The other one is monthly or annual basis. But like I said, for this practice, we keep it really simple like that, and we can change the number and see what the picture looks like, right? Just so you can see how this whole thing works. Because really, this purpose of this exercise is to show you how the translation is working. When we make decisions in business, what will be the financial picture looks like? How they correlated with each other's. Not because we know that. No.
I was
No. Not at all.
None of this is realistic.
No.
But I was wondering if it was, I think as you were saying, it's based on the experience of that.
Yeah, because different business, they got different DNA, really.
0 for like 2 of these problems.
Maybe, yep, put a 0 plus.
Or -3.
We don't want to be angry.
Yeah, 0.1. 1.1, Eva.
Harry, so for when you're selling a product, so product based, what is it?
Really sorry. I said that is not
Not that aggressive, really less than much less than 0.5%.
Because I guess like I'm looking at like so when I'm doing this business partner, obviously it's good to have aggressive targets, but at the same time we want to also see what is a realistic growth. Because obviously as like I'm an entrepreneur.
Wow.
So it'd be nice to know when I put numbers, like realistic
I
growth.
think the other side of this is this has to sit alongside your actuals. So as
Yep.
you start to
Yep.
trade,
Yep.
you're constantly feeding that back in, looking back at
Yep.
your budgets and understanding.
Exactly. So Sweep answered
Yeah.
for me already. Basically, how it works is when we first met, and remember, this is the first time we've met. So we try to translate that business plan into a financial plan. And our job is really every single month, we monitor these things for you. So if you set out, say, 3% growth, and by end of the month, we say, no way, you didn't get 3%. You only got 0.0001%. So maybe change our expectation and see how we go. Change our expectation again, bring it down to 2%, still 0.00001%. All right? So what we say here to our client is, end of the day, it doesn't matter what your sales team is saying. Sales people always, I'm sorry if got any sales here, but sales team always dreaming, big pipeline, a lot of things coming in. What I often say to them is really, as a CEO, you got to listen to the salesperson, business development, and also your accountant, CFO, because number one lies. Every month, at the end of the month, we give you the real numbers. the growth is not 3%. Even though your sales partner, the sales team still coming back and propose that, yeah, our product is a hot product out there, in 3 months we get back to that 3%. But if the numbers won't add up, what? We got to go back and be more conservative. All right, so let's have a look at these pictures, what we have as just very simple pictures. And going back to the budget again, Eva, budget without GSTs. So I want to see the sales figures now. All right, so our budget in terms of sales for this year, $2.6 million. Right, and it's going to cost us about 2.3 in cost of sales. So those are the costs for you to produce the products, and also, you know, logistics and all that things. Going down, Eva, want to see the bottom line of the business? So we are in a loss of $500,000 at this stage. If this is the plan that you want to do, right? So we obviously have to do something, because yeah, that's it. Cash flow, please. Cash flow, please.
We can have the advertising budget there.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much
We
the
just went out
advertising
time.
budget. Just
Solved.
That's it.
People are going to be shouting and they'll do the
That's it.
if you got
So
salespeople as well, that's like doubling it.
yeah, so I think the first thing is sack the marketing manager. No way 20%. So Eva, let's work on 2% and see what the picture looks like. So, all right, so the marketing team come up with 2 plans. Plan number 1 is really the value of debt is much deeper, and we're not going to get out of this year. That's why we got a loss of 500,000. Option 2 is really going on a slower plan, spending less, but smart money, utilizing our current channels, bring that marketing budget down to only 2% and see what the picture looks like. Straight away, going down the bottom line, I want to see, yep, back to about 100,000 loss. Right? And it is real day business. When you get a proposal from your marketing, your sales team, give me 2 options or 3 options or even more, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you really want me in the next 12 months, burn as much as we can, get our name out there. Don't worry about the margin. We got big investor backing up us. I want market. And you spend 500,000 for it. Right? If we want to be sustainable, utilizing our cash flows, small investment from small angel investors, right? Then we go with option number 2. Eva, can I see the cash flow, please? Right, so back to where it was. Still, value of death, but we can deal with it. Right, so if now, let's say, right, so we see the picture. Back to option 1. What option do you prefer as a business owner? 1, really deep, 500,000 loss, or number 2, here? Number 2, right, so stick with this one. Still, you can see here, in about before sort of November, December, your cash went really down. Your current cash as today, you are going up to left, up. I want to see cash as today. About 50,000 in the bank account, about right. And looks like you only got, looks like you only got about 6 months. Looks like you only got about 6 months to go, right? What do you think that you're going to do? Because I cannot help you. I'm just translating the number. It's your business to run. Once you drive it down to below the 0 line, you know, you cannot pay the ATO, cannot afford to pay the staff, cannot afford to have an office, not $1 million house. What are we going to do here? And we can participate. We can brainstorming.
Get a flight to Mallorca.
Yeah.
Hire my useless salespeople.
So let's start playing with the different components here. Right? Try to see what the priority there. What option do we have?
I've either got to increase my cash or reduce my expenses.
Okay.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can join risk and you can get into, you know, the
So I need more revenue, all this.
All right. So there's many options there. Number 1 I want you to play with is really look at your products selling, the pricing models, the margins, and things like that. Because we got a lot of questions around this topic. Yeah. How do I set my margins and what is the break-even point? I mean, all that in theories, you know, the textbook stuff.
Yeah.
Why I didn't want to go into those sort of textbook things? Because really, our systems will tell you the whole thing. What's the impact on your cash flow? What's the bottom line of the business? Hence, how do you change the price and the margins so that it fits your business? So go into the modeling, Eva. All right, so for this product, $10. What is the market price? Why are you selling under the market share? Why can't we lift it to 12? Have you done market research?
Yes.
And you selling cheap? What you sell?
Sell it cheap,
Yep.
because that was part of my business model, but I've been rethinking.
Oh, but in 6 months you don't have cash.
Yeah, so yeah, I
In six-
certainly have priced them very low because that was part of what I wanted to do. But now that I realize that I won't be able to do that if I want.
So really typical startups here,
Yeah.
and I hear this a lot from startup. Whatever the market's out there, I put it down, say by 20%, because I'm new. No one knows me. It doesn't matter whether I spend a lot in R&Ds and make my product really organic, natural friendly. People don't care. That's what we're thinking, right? But when you come to accountant like us, we put the numbers in front of you and tell you it's not realistic financially. You got to do something about it. So why don't we lift it to say $12 and see what the picture looks like, right? Right. So instead of going back to that textbook and try to do all the formulas and try to work out break-even points and all that complication, this is much easier. $12. So
Yes.
20% increase in price, right? Don't tell your customers.
Yes.
Just quietly bring it up. Not too much there. Not too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was.
What's the bottom line looks like now, Eva? What the year to date?
I would be similar to
The profit and loss.
content.
So we were about 99. We're now 94. So it looks like we have to do a bit more on others as well, rather than the pricing, right? So that
Because the margin is only 10%, so $2 is not.
exactly,
It only gives you 20 cents.
exactly. And if the business is 100% margin, it would have a bigger impact, much bigger impact, right? So let's assume we move
But it
up.
might stop people buying it also.
I know, yeah, that's it. So all the things, and this is only 4 components. We're already going into the markets and the customers and the competitors and all the things. So why don't
More to part.
we say,
Well, no,
It's been
that was
like
the question
saying,
for us to work out your margin. Obviously, you've got to work out
on the back of that whole
product because I'm a manufacturer.
instead of being
Yep.
You are too. I don't think I've done that right because I'd have to.
But anyway, otherwise everything.
This is where I get confused. When calculating the cost of my product for me to make, do I at that point include my salary, my rent, my insurance?
Oh, it's amazing.
Do I put an on-cost
No,
onto that,
no.
or it's just flat out cost of resources? That's
just
what I
cost,
do at that
cost,
point?
just cost goods sold, which is cost of resources.
Yeah. Okay.
But that means that everything else has to come out of the margin.
Yeah.
So you need a much bigger margin.
Well, then it's way more than 10%.
We can make a similar style product. If you want to borrow our margin and price, we put a 100% margin on our wholesale price.
So let's bring it up to 80%.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh, you can.
Eva, and also product B going up to 85%. Product. Yep. That's
Yeah, it
it.
really does depend on where you're talking about the margin, because some people talk about margin after all costs.
Yep.
Some people talk about it just after.
But it depends what product you have, right?
Yeah.
My wife is a photographer, so in her costing analysis, she puts time into editing
Yeah.
the photos, so that's her cost of goods sold
Hmm.
includes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So manufacturer business is different from
Yeah.
retail, different from IT,
Yep.
web developments, and things like that.
That's awesome.
So going back to the models again.
Can I just ask you a question on what you just said, though? Because you said that there's a difference between manufacturer and retail, but we sell what we manufacture. So doesn't that cover both? Like, how does that work?
Chat to the cook and vice versa.
Yeah, I guess this is more on a manufacturer's margin that we're working on here. And really you got 2 different business lines there. One is manufacturers, one retail, all in one, in your case, right? So I think bring the number down a bit so it's more realistic. Otherwise, she get excited and buy $10 million house. So maybe only about 50 products here instead of 500. Because it's a different business here. You can see, what if you have high margin, volume has to be low. And you cannot expect 500 items that you're selling a week. We're just trying to bring the picture down to realistic. So here, Eva.
So my paintbrushes are selling at rapid rates at 100%.
Just when you finish this, I just got to ask you that. So with the margin, like you say, it's revenue minus cost of goods sold. So do you guys have a template for cost of goods sold? Because that cost of goods sold is when you break up the product price. And I guess it's not just that. That's my business partner. That's when we're starting to think about, well, what makes up the cost of goods sold, which is what are the ingredients and all that kind of stuff. So do you guys have a template for us to?
We can design it. But basically, how we normally do is really talk through the work process that you have, going through how do you build the product or how do you manufacture the products, and try to go into different components and start building from there back to the margin. Right? So some people doing complex, say building computers, PC, they would have different sort of software component, hardware, logistics, all that things. Right? Also, business who selling to the door is different from the one that's selling online, Amazon. Really different pricing models, and you can go like complex, the whole stretch is just for the pricing models. Right?
We're selling a service. Okay, where service is generated through capital expenditure. You develop a software product. You're now going to sell that software product over the course of. Okay, so you only have the fixed cost, your insurance, but there's no manufacturing costs. Yep. That comes out of the capital budget.
Software companies, and it probably apply for myself too. There's the most common model we're seeing is a SaaS model, and you probably hear that, right? Software as a services. And the modeling for SaaS business is a different world. We don't talk about margin. We don't. It's a different world, and actually it's much more lean and easy to forecast because it's all based on recurring revenue. It's all that top line driving. But SaaS model is a different world, and I can do another section with you on SaaS.
But you have to.
But at least from here, what you see is really where the logic comes from, where the numbers are adding up, and why that related back to my business plan. That's the idea of this sort of workshop, is really to understand that in the end of the day, the numbers is the key indicator of performance.
Even though my product to be a SaaS product, the concepts are going to be similar. So I'm getting just as much value out of this, learning concepts, learning how to price things based on what expected profit and expenses.
Yep. And in your case, for example, what you should, and if we build a SaaS, then it's all about that sales team. How many salespersons? What's the top line driving? What's the growth rate is? How many? What's our annual recurring revenue expectation toward end of the year for each of the salespersons? Modeling for each of salesperson and monitor their KPIs based on that. But it's all that.
Take the form then of that more retail model, line of business, or is that a different?
It's different model. And if you want to learn more, basically go and search about SaaS business models and financial models. There's a couple templates there, but we can actually use this for a SaaS business. Yeah, for a SaaS business. All right. Any more questions before we move on? I know that there's probably sort of mid-section and people still awake and we're not sort of Friday mood yet until we go to the end. Any other questions we have on this?
Wondering, with your high margin, low sales volume, is that automatically reflected in the cost of the product price? So it's all
it's all built in. It's all linked in. And as I said, this is the simplest version that we have. We can go really complicated. Eva, bring that now to 70 as well, 70. All right, let's have a look at the bottom line of the business. So what's the profit expectations of this year end? So back to 134. As you can see, right, we come from here, back there. Cash flow again.
I think it was Tuesday.
But if you're only selling them, then you
Still the valley of death.
some of those salespeople.
Yeah, that's right.
Still in the valley of death. And so
Yeah, well, it definitely
as we're moving to that curve, and now we're back to the valley of death. And looks like changing the price, lift up the price a little bit, bring the margin up, didn't quite help much, right? So whether you're going to hire more salespeople, are they going to sell more for you? Maybe it's going to work.
I don't think so.
So let put in an example. Eva, let's assume that we have another salesperson, and this salesperson is the best in the world.
I think put them all on commission only, and then you're right.
Well, I would have suggested that one full-time person for doing
when
it
I was
also
down there when he.
during the week. And
Oh yeah, they're away for the
take them for
whole.
like 2 or 3 days a week because you're going to go to the market.
Would be able to come
You know, that's what I would have put in there. So I would have reduced the hours of BC a day because they only work for you in the weekends. You know, so you can cover more markets.
New salesperson in, same salary. Right. So again, what I'm trying to show is really how are we going to turn that valley of death up a bit so we can survive through that period, right? So let's assume we have a new salesperson and this person doing very well, 3 times as good as all the others. And the sales number is now, right? So let's finish all the formula stuff. Make sure the sum is calling up as well, Eva. Come on, normally you're faster than this, Eva.
Yeah. She's getting told all these different things.
Sorry, Eva, just kidding. Take your time.
He owes you now.
Or maybe we keep it simple, just increase one of the salary of one of the salespersons, assuming that there's 2 roles. Yep. Okay, good.
Haven't changed hours.
Yeah, no, that's great.
In real life, it's more complex than that. Once we build in one more salesperson, it's got super, it's got commissions, it's got tax, it's got all sort of things, travel allowance, all things we have to build in. So it doesn't just take 2 minutes.
All right.
And the next option we look at is maybe investment. Maybe you get a...
No, I think they want to see that it's going to go somewhere before they put some money into it.
But providing at the end of the time it's starting to go up, that's
I need to see some
bit more going up.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If you can show that at some point
It's going to go up.
then you can find somebody who can.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's it.
And ideally, it's in 12 months that you show them it's going to go up.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a 5-year investment in you.
You'll be surprised that investor like us, we look at when it's going up. Like I said, the tail, not the bottom. We look at the tail, and really top line driving. What do we expect in returns in this business? And we finish it, Eva? Yeah. All right, so go into sales. Let's assume that this person is now driving 2% growth. And that going up to 5% for me, please.
Yeah.
Right, back to the cash flow, Eva.
Oh, cool. Well, let's see what we've got. Karen's just yeah. Are you?
More, so go to sales. Yep, we need more. 5%.
Oh, well, I thought you'd already moved that.
10%.
Oh, okay. So
Ooh, it looks better. Right. So again, I mean, what I'm trying to demonstrate here is really, this is a tool for you to make decisions, end of the day. Right? It's not just translating your business plan into a financial plan, but also help you to make decisions. In business, you always look at the plan, you go to plan A's, plan B's, right? Like I said, we might expect a bit high, so 30% growth. Going back to sort of end of the first month to the second month, still not achieving that plan. What are we going to adjust our plan? Hence the financial plan, so we can survive. Right? So in that case, you say you cannot get investment money. This is the only way. We need to get back to this picture somehow. And that somehow means going back through all the elements in this picture and try to work with it. If the accountant is not doing good enough, right, find someone else. If the marketing person is not doing the right thing, you pay for 3 there, 4 now. Right? That's why you're in the valley of death. So why don't we cut one salary? Right? Because the purpose is really to play with it, to make decisions together, to get back to this, so we can survive. Because no way any business can survive below that 0 line. No way.
Mine currently is.
Because
You're
subsidising your funding it, right?
Yeah.
Your other salary.
Yeah, and I do have investment from my public service job.
That's right. That's right. So, but like I said, is in real business, this kind of session happens for a big business every week. We sit down with our customers, going through financials, the thing that they're trying to achieve in the next many months, review their current statistics. So what did they expected early the financial year? What's the actual number looks like? Right? If it doesn't going along with what we planned, what are we going to do? What sort of corrective action are we going to do? Sales person, we talk about that. We talk about 3 sales there. So what's the KPI? We hire a new person. Yep, in 3 months. If they cannot meet the targets, what decision we're going to make? Because end of the day, that's a business, that's a pictures. Unless it looks like this, it's not going to survive. No question?
No, I thought you were saying what's KPI, because maybe some people don't actually even know what that means.
Yep, so 52,000 for one sales guy. What's the KPI is, say, for example, selling 50 products a week. Growth rate is about 10%, so the next week he got to sell 55 and keep pumping up. Or maybe just 0.005% growth. Whatever KPI you set up there for him is really, that's a tool to help you to sort of make your own decision. And like I said, big business every single week, small startup once a month is good enough. At least you got some things there that really can confirm that your business is traveling in the right track. It feels like you're playing in a soccer game and you got no one scoring at all. 2 teams playing with each other, there's no one scoring. This system is your scoring system. You should tell how healthy the business is, how well you're checking with your business plans, and things like that. And we can go simple, complex, more complex. Really depends on type of business as well. And like I said, you got the software, SaaS models, you got a high margin, low volumes, right? Low margin, high volumes, that kind of things all can be built in here. And within 1 hour, just past, we've done it together. So what I've learned from here is I've learned a lot about your business. How many products are you selling? What type of products? Again, is margin, volumes, what's the growth rate is, how your team working with each other, are they doing well or not? How the new salesperson is working, is he doing well or not? How your cash flow looks like? Do you need investment in 6 months, 12 months or not? What's the expectation of turnover? What's the key elements in the cost structures? What's the bottom line of the business? Can you buy $1 million house in 3 years? A lot in 1 hour. All right, so before I wrap up, unless you got any questions?
What would you suggest for a business where it's not like a weekly thing, you know, like minute or smallish kind of sales, but it's like, it's a 9-month development of a big project, for example, and do you suggest to just not work by weeks, but sort of like go, you know, by months or even quarters or something like that, or?
Yep, so our models, we got 2 versions. One is weekly, the other one is monthly. We prefer weekly. Why? Because we get data hot coming in. So all this, if you use Xero, we connect all your data in Xero into this system. So let's say you got an accounting team. End of the week, they reconcile the account, quarter all the sales, all the expenditures, all the live data go in weekly into here. Minute that you leave it for monthly or quarterly, they went cold. They're not reliable anymore.
Well, what I'm saying is, without going into in the details of my business, like I want to sell stuff monthly. Like I work on a big project that might be, I don't know, a couple of $100,000 or something, but it's not going to happen until, you know.
Construction is a good example.
But in that time, you're still spending money.
I am spending money, yeah,
So
but there's no sales.
You said you're tracking it.
Yeah. So
you still want to have some mechanism to be able to keep tracking it.
Yeah.
yeah, so construction is a good example. We got many construction company with us, and we use this to monitor their costs. As important as monitoring the sales growth, cost is as important. Who do you pay? What sort of the contractor do you have? What's the budget you set for them for that project? Are you overspending, underspending? What happened if the rain, the big storm coming out? What sort of contingency budget do you have there? What? So monitoring costs items there, and even if you go to the budget there.
Sorry, someone online put the hand up for questions.
Okay, yep.
Denise.
Anita, you got a question? You can type it in.
I'll just ask one in the meantime.
Yep.
What do you charge businesses to do this?
All right, so for startup, we got a startup package.
Yeah.
And really how we charge is a fixed fee basis. And within that fixed fee, we do all these accountings in Xero, including payrolls and all reconciliations. And you would then have 1 hour meeting with our CFO. And in that 1 hour, the CFO basically becomes your scorekeeper. They're telling your stories about your business in the last 30 days, reviewing your 12 months plan, make sure you're on track with your plan. And that's kind of the very simple startup basic. Once a startup gets into a stage where it's more complex, where data would be hot, cannot be cold. So every week we have to get the work done, get the data in here, and have a conversation with the CEO every single week to make sure we're monitoring their sales, all the cost elements and everything. But I can send you the details.
They're all asking the same question. You can just tell us what the price is, Harry, because I'm sure you're going to give everybody a great price.
So 185 per week is our commercial rate. For non-profit organizations, we discount 30%. So if you are social enterprise, non-profit organization, 30% discount from 185 per week. And that including everything.
And at what point is it?
185 a week.
And at what point do you make the decision to have that as an expense?
Yeah.
That's a sensible question, because I mean, if you're not making any money, like you can't really justify spending that much money when you're just starting out. So is that a question you can even answer? I don't know. Like, at what point do you say, yep, I'm projecting to go here, so I kind of need to spend the money?
This would tell you. So we give you a template.
Yeah. What I did, so putting myself back into my sweat fashion days.
Yeah.
So I engaged Terry and tailored accounts when I had that first employee. So now I have an obligation, and I need to be able to. So what I need to help with payroll.
Yeah.
But now I have an expectation that I need to keep this person employed, so I know what my income and I think for me, because when it was just me doing everything, it was okay. Like I could keep track of things. But now that I know my obligation is beyond me, I felt like that was the time to make the investment in having some help.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like having a part-time employee who's managing your business.
So he was part of my team. So
Yeah.
he worked in my No Sweat Fashions was set up as a not-for-profit. I had a treasurer on my board. And so my treasurer worked with Harry. So rather than having that sort of that weekly conversation with me, it was between Narrative at the time and Narrative sort of did that. That was important so I had somebody who was on my board, but basically, rather than Narrative doing it herself,
Or when, say, for example, when you get investors, they would need it. Someone invests money in your business, they want to see this. They want to see it. So how this all coming into is really, we use these models for corporation. Big accounting team, big accounting department, they do this every day. Well, we then zip it in, simplify it, present it to SMEs and start a business. It works. It works really well for our customers. Really well.
The consideration is, if you're not hiring somebody to do that for you, it means you'll have to do some version of it yourself.
You have to.
The question is, A, can you do it?
Yep.
Do you have the skills to do it? And then B, even if you do, because I'm doing most of that stuff myself at the moment, what's the time that I spend on that? And at some point, I'm going to probably decide that the time that I spend on it is not well spent because I could be spending it on something else. And, you know, as you said, it becomes another part-time employee that you're engaging for that particular task.
It reinforces the other discipline around having systems. So if you know that you've got to have your stuff ready for Harry, not even Harry, whoever your person is, every week at a certain time, then you got to make sure you got to work backwards. You got to make sure that you've done your work, your invoice up to date, like all your stuff is ready to go in the system, so that when you have that time, it's effective. So it just sort of, it reinforces all those things.
We got one more question here, technical questions from Sunita. So basically she asked whether we can drill data from Zero. Yes, there's an app, Sunita. And there's an app that we can API within Zeros in our Google Sheet or even Excel. So there's certain data that we can automate the process from zero down to this without us having to do any manual work. There's certain thing that we still have to manage it ourselves. Say, for example, if we do this report for you once a month, it takes our staff probably less than 1 hour, maximum 1 hour. While in a corporation world, it takes the whole accounting team a fair few days. Once you consolidate everything in all different multiple entities, right, it takes months. So back to your question again, Dennis, in that sort of monitoring the costs, with our customer who come to us every week, we're only monitoring the cash flows and all the things happening in the business for the last few days. But at the end of the month, we also have a section we call a budget analysis section. So we drill into the budget, Eva, budget with LGSDs. We get the data coming from zero, and we compare. We're scoring. So you expected to sell 50,000 this month, you only got 45,000, 5,000 short. So if you want to get out of that $1 million end of the financial year, you got to push a bit harder. You budget your salary for 5 people of say 50,000 for this month, you spend 60,000. Where that come from? Where the discrepancy come from? Someone got sick for a whole week, and you have to hire someone as a temp coming in. We need to find the answer, right? Also, we're telling you what the picture looks like yesterday. So now we're in May. Your target for this end of financial year profit is about say 100,000. Currently, you're in about break even. So you got about 100,000 to push for the next 1.5 months. Can we achieve that target or not? It's all come from here. It's all come from here. And then what did you do? Well, you got 1.5 months and you want to achieve that 100,000 profit margin. That's your objective. What are you going to do? One of the salesperson not performing, no sale from him for the last 3 months. If we stop now, maybe we save 50,000. Maybe not. Or maybe something there that we can do to make sure that we achieve our targets. And if we impact back on the cash flow as well. So we want to make sure we have enough cash to survive in this business. What? Similar to QuickBooks, yes, we do. Yep. So QuickBooks or Xero, they open API. What it means is you can get a developer coming in, build an API, drill data straight from QuickBooks or Xero down to this system. But like I said, it's not everything. It's not 100% automated. Otherwise, accountant become dinosaur. And two, we need someone to verify data. We need someone to verify data.
And like in Xero itself, it's got a nice budget template already in Xero as well, right? So do you use that one as well, or you just purely?
We do both. We do both. So we actually do it from here first. We then implement back into Xero, and we drill data down for reporting purposes. So we do both, actually.
Just because it's a little bit more slicing and dicing.
For example, going down to debtors, Eva. So this is the thing that I haven't got time to touch in, but really debtors and creditors are another thing that we monitor for our customers. So some of the customer might have a data books there. And this data can drill from zero straight away. So when we have a meeting with our customer, we tell them how much in their data books, say 100,000. One of them, 20,000, haven't paid for 9 months. So do we keep them in the cash flow or do we leave them out? That's the question, right? It depends. Depends situation. But based on the cash flow projection, if we want to stay conservative, we shouldn't count. We kick them out, right? So we monitor the whole things here for our customers because why? They impact the cash flow. If the debt is there, 20,000, is not going to pay forever. That's likely to turn into bad debt. What's the impact back on the cash flow? So even if you want to now put in 100,000 debtors, so let's assume that you got one of the big customer, Qantas, didn't pay you, one of the bill, 100,000. Right? So we kept it out of the cash flow. All of a sudden, you got good news. Someone call up and say, hey, sorry, I forgot to pay you. I want to pay you next week. Right? And if I put in 100,000 debtor paying next week, see what the impact on the cash flow. There you go. Lift up. You see that? Right? On the other side, ATO gives you a call. Sorry, you got 12 months of past activity statements and superannuation haven't paid, and adding up to about 150,000 in debt. That's from creditors. ASAP from ATO before legal actions. Went down below the line. You have a meeting with us and we say, what solution out there do we have? Go over to bank, ask for a loan, or we can call up ATO and saying, hey, this business, social enterprise, doing a good thing for the communities, we cannot afford to pay 150K all in one because we monitor the cash flow, we know they cannot pay it. Why can't we have a payment plan? So instead of 150,000, we can only pay you guys 5,000 a month. Good luck. And ATO come back and say, yes, $5,000 a month. Payment plan. Eva, yep, good. What the cash flow looks like now? Cash flow. Cash flow. Many months. It's weekly, Eva. Eva is weekly, so it's not 5,000 a week. Maybe $500 a week. Don't be too generous to ATO.
Do you make that call for us? Do you ring the ATO and say?
We do this a lot.
Yeah.
Because we manage our customers' cash flow, and this is one of the solutions to get out of debt. Okay, back to the cash flow, Eva.
So while Eva's doing that, Harry, I had a question, a technical question. When you were playing around with the pricing models and you changed the volumes or the number of sales, did that also have is that also linked to your cost of goods?
Cost.
So
based on our margin.
Right.
Yeah, so we only put 4 elements there: the margin, the price, quantities, and the growth rate. But you can have a lot more. Under margin, you can have all the layers below the margin as well. So you can play around and change and modeling it. But again, the idea is really what sort of price, what sort of margin we put in is all in the end of the day is what we're trying to do is meet our expectation, meet our business plan, right? Financial plan and cash flow plan. Sometimes we have to go in with low margin.
Yes.
Right? Because we want the market. Or we want to go high margin and really go into the payment market. All right, so back to the cash flow. Once you've done. Yep. All right, so that's all the thing that and this is why we call it a decision-making tools, is really, if you work with it every single week, and we have customers who we give them these things, and they got their accounting team and they use it. They only need us when they need to model, when they need to change things, or they want someone to really put expertise in. Changing from the software selling, traditional software licensing into SaaS models. They say, Harry, you built this first couple of years ago, now we want a different modeling for our SaaS models. And we start working with them. Any other question from, do we have online questions, Eva, from? Okay. Well, thank you very much. As I said, short period of time, I only keep it really simple, but really there's a lot more we can do. And I hope that it's not too heavy. I try to make it less sort of accounting technicals. And the reason why we do this, because every time we report to our customers, we don't go into formulas and really the numbers. We tell them the story of their business. We want to make sure that whatever their dream is within their business, are they on track of their dreams or not? If not, then what can we do to get back? Or maybe the dream is too small. We need to be more aggressive. Right? If one that sales guy is working really well, get 10 of him. And if you cannot have capital to support it, then it's investment.
Where would you recommend, for these guys who we just over the last week we spent some time thinking about our impact model and our business model, and now what you've really shared is this, this tool for financial modeling, which we don't necessarily have at our disposal at the moment. So, how would you recommend sort of the next step in terms of them starting to try to build this kind of?
I think you can, for all the audience here, I can give away, say, 1 hour with our staff, no charge, and we work with real numbers. How that sounds? You can book a time here. We work with real numbers. So real salary, real figures, real price, real margin, everything real.
That'd
Right?
be useful for us because
Yep.
at the moment I'm seeing the validity of the model like this,
Hmm.
but I don't know when it triggers.
No,
Yep. I know. I hear what you're saying.
Had it for the last 13 years.
I hear what you're saying.
No accountant I've ever had has ever suggested anything like this to me.
No.
I just work with zero budgets and things. That
'Cause
don't give me nearly that kind of.
Accounting in the past was seen as a data keeper. That's it. We keep the data with data entries, with all the thing, reconciliation, just to make sure data is right.
But if you're a small enterprise that hasn't yet started manufacturing, but you have the intent to, when do we engage you? When do we engage this process? Is it before you make your first product, before you start experimenting?
Well, my answer is then,
This is more important.
if you have a business plan, that is a trigger point where you need a financial plan, full stop.
So by the completion of the cycle, this is where
Because at the moment, because then you'll understand. So how are you going to be able to articulate how much money you need? Having gone through this process. So that's the whole.
Yep.
I do have a question. I'm just imagining myself in 10 years' time looking back at these budgets done by tailored accountants, and I look back and for some reason I can't remember, say my marketing went down to 0 for a month because someone said, I'm going to do your marketing for free. Is there any way to drill down on any of the cells and add notes, like, or is it just something you have to keep as notes on the side? Or
Best place is 0, and your CAM systems where you keep all the notes in the log and things like that. So these systems, we had some customer using Salesforce, some of their sales specialist systems. We can drill data from there into here. But where you keep all the notes is certainly in your software where you use it.
Zero is good. You've got lots of options.
Oh yeah, you got a lot of options, and it's affordable. Yep. So contact our staff. I get one of our staff there. They can sit down with you for 1 hour, real numbers, and see where you are to start with. Really, that's the question, Cindy, isn't it? Really, where are we financially? What it looks like 6 months, 12 months, and then whether you decided to do it yourself, we give you the template, and you monitor yourself. If you don't have enough budget to invest in someone to do it, you do it yourself until you feel like I'm comfortable now. My time is more valuable driving the business, and I don't like numbers.
I like pictures. I want to see
Yeah. Then,
up with
yeah, I don't like working with like Eva with all the formulas, and I don't know whether I make mistake or not. I don't know how do I go back and audit my formulas. Get someone to do it. And just tell me the pictures. Tell me the story every single week or every month. Right?
Right. Would you like me to coordinate that, Harry? Like,
Yeah, please. Yep.
Rather than
Yep.
everyone contact
You can send it from the Millhouse. It's an offer to Millhouse, so you can put it up and really.
maybe just say that in to those people who are listening as well.
I think they can hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, we'll just if you guys just come through me, and we'll make sure you're ready for this because this is extremely generous, Harry. Like, it's like
Yeah.
And I'm adding the Millhouse in here as well. So we'll be one of those.
It's a startup thing, Cindy. We when I started the business, she helped me a lot with the large house. My first office in Deakin, where I only had Fuzuki there working with me, one of my first employees. 8 years, he's still with me. But a lot of things like many of you, I got nothing to start. I was asking a client to give me a free office in Deakin sharing, so because I didn't have money to pay for it. And Cindy came to my office and gave me a bit of brainstorming and pushed me up a bit and so yeah. Thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it's not too heavy.
Appreciate it very much.
That's all right.